welcome to CaFae Latte. What manner of chaos do you bring to my day today? I would like a medium mocha, please. No chocolate. That's a latte. No, I want a mocha. Right. Without the chocolate. The chocolate is what makes the mocha. You literally cannot have a mocha without it. Yes, you can. What is your definition of a mocha? It's a chocolate drink. Right. I want it without the chocolate. Ugh! This isn't that hard. It's like asking for chocolate milk without the chocolate. That's just milk. Oh, God. Boss, can you do your thing here? She's clearly already cursed with stupidity. I don't know what more I can do to them. I hope you like fudge, because I couldn't sleep at all last night and I made a lot of it. Holy shit. Well, whatever we don't sell, I'll take home. It'll keep in the fridge for at least a week, so I seriously doubt Bob will allow that. The ones in red wrapping have nuts, the ones in blue are no nuts. Insert dirty joke here. Shouldn't you be doing that with Nicole? I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, look, I might not be as skilled at reading people as the boss, but even I can tell you've got just a teensy tiny massive crush on one of our best customers. Don't keep your voice down! We don't open for another 30 minutes and are literally the only 2 people here. It's the principle of the matter. So, are you gonna do anything about it? What, your lack of customers? Turn on the open sign. No, your crush. Are you gonna ask her out? No. Why the fuck not? Gee, I don't know. Maybe because I have no idea if Nicole is queer or at all into non-binary people. Maybe because she's clearly smart and educated and probably has better taste than the ex-con who barely graduated high school and dropped out of college after 1 year. Maybe because she almost got mind raped by an asshole vampire and she's still dealing with the trauma. Okay, that last one is actually a valid argument, I'll give you that. But your self-esteem needs serious work, please see a therapist, and Nicole's mentioned dating a girl before, and I've seen her wear a bisexuality pin at least once. You can be bi and still not find NB people attractive, or a specific NB attractive. Oh my god, I am too ace to deal with this, but I can honestly say with 100% certainty that every single time Nicole comes in, literally every single time, if she does not immediately see you, she asks if you'll be in soon. And over the last few weeks, she has timed herself, so she comes in around the same time you're here, which means she'll be here almost as soon as we open, but not on Mondays or Tuesdays, because you don't come in those days. You're bullshitting me. I am a fucking fairy. We cannot lie. And I'll prove it. Hide under the counter or in the back when we open, and as soon as Nicole comes in, she'll ask. Fine. Morning, Nicole. Hi. Where's JC? Oh, they're around. You know, you ask me that almost every day. I like their vibe. Still not asking her out. Welcome to CaFae Latte. I hope you like chocolate because our baker made a ridiculous amount of fudge that I would like to sell before my employee consumes it all. It's really good though. Oh, thank you anyway, sweet pea, but at my age I need to watch what I eat. Did you want to go first, sir? My order's gonna take a while. Sure, I don't mind taking the attention of this pretty darling. Oh, well, that's a choice. What? It's a compliment. Don't flirt with employees who have no clean way to escape you. It's not a compliment, it's a trap. Will you let her call you sweet pea? She wasn't flirting. See, young man, using pet names on strangers is really only wildly acceptable if both of you or none of you are flirting. It's also best if you fit at least 2 of 3 criteria. Number 1, you have my accent or something further south. It's widely recognized that it's a cultural thing down there. Number 2, you have at least as many gray hairs as I do. And third and most importantly, your gender is not that which has been sexualizing, minimizing, belittling, and infanticizing women for the last several thousand years. Wow, we're really bringing gender into this? Oh, I am so glad you said that, sweetheart. It's just not fair that a pretty darling like yourself is getting this kind of treatment. Ew, gay? Oh, so you wouldn't use those pet names on me? Ouch. Whatever, I'm leaving. No, come back. We were having fun. Sorry, you two could clearly handle that, but I figured I could end it quicker. Oh, I don't mind seeing a man act with chivalry, darling. It gives me hope for the younger generations. Yeah, the next misogynist to come in, you should call them something worse. Something like baby cakes. Anyway, ma'am, what were we thinking? Well, I was actually wondering if I could purchase a fairy blessing, so to speak. Please don't say eternal youth. That is beyond my capabilities. Darling, I think I'm beyond that point. No, I like my wrinkled face just as it is. I was actually asking on behalf of my husband for his health. See, some context here. My darling man served as a firefighter in the Air Force for 40 years until his honorable discharge and retirement last year. Well, retirement. We're both bad at that. We opened the yarn store down the street. Oh, with the mannequin wearing that cute shawl in the window? That's your work? Indeed it is. I've been wanting to run my own yarn shop for years now, and when he got discharged, we promised that, store or no store, we were going to take it easy and be safe, and not do anything dangerous or reckless. So how long did that last? The day after we moved in. He introduced himself to the volunteer fire department in town just to make friends, and ended up signing on as an emergency responder. I figured. It's hard to put down the sword when you've carried it for so long. And that's fine. That's why I love him. It's part of who he is, and I know he is smart and experienced, and what he does now doesn't even require him to run into burning buildings. It's so much safer than he was before. He's more of an EMT, but I still worry about him. Things happen. And while I pray every night and day for his safety and believe in the might and power of our Lord, I would still prefer something more concrete. You're asking for a blessing ensuring your husband's personal health and safety, especially while on the job. Yes, ma'am. Okay, I will need one of two things. If you give me his full name, I can bless him right here and now. But giving the Fae anyone's full name is akin to giving them your social security number, which is why most people are very wary about that. Option 2, you bring him here physically to my cafe, and I can give him that blessing for a maximum of 7 years. Oh, that would be just wonderful. Now, how much would something like that cost? Well, he's a protector of the realm, so that will give you a discount. He's a what? It's the catch-all fairy term for first responders like firefighters, paramedics, EMTs, anyone who works in any medical field, military and veteran, teachers of the American school system. We actually have badges that we're selling as stickers. See? Right there. Oh, we met some of those mermaids. He answered the call to help a man who had almost drowned and was saved by some lovely mermaid ladies in the lake. They made all the young men and the sweet little lesbian on his team blush red as strawberries. He couldn't stop cackling at them. Yeah, you are not going to find a better water rescue team than that, or bigger flirts. So, all of that in mind, does that shawl in your shop window have a shiny or sparkly option? Oh, we do sell several types of yarn that have those qualities in a variety of colors, but one shawl for 7 years seems like a poor deal, even as good as I am at my craft. So, a shawl, a scarf, matching hat, of course, mittens or gloves, socks. Oh, not socks. I wear those to death with, like, holes and sweat, and nobody will see them. Headband? Headband is 5. I can do a vest, and what about a banner or tablecloth, something for your counter here? Oh, no. I would be terrified of spilling something and staining it. Can I get a scarf? Something fluffy and soft? I absolutely can do that. Is that all right with you, ma'am? A fluffy scarf for the ward it is. Now stop eating my fudge! Never! Welcome to CaFae Latte, where the new slogan is apparently come for the coffee, stay for the tea. On a related note, I'm no longer letting my ward choose what to put on our merchandise. Hey, that came from a customer. My slogan is, I'm too ace for this shit, and that is both gold and true. Anyway, what can I get for you? Oh, no, I'm not ordering anything. Excuse me, could I have everyone's attention, please? What's going on? Go ahead, darling, I'm listening. I have here a petition to our state governor in support of a proposed bill that will protect our children from harmful, dangerous, and experimental drugs and mutilative surgeries, keep erratic dancers from performing in front of children, and protect the parents' rights to send their children to corrective camps when they display unusual or inappropriate behavior. Will you please sign? This is sounding suspiciously like a trap. Wait, hold up. Are you talking about the bill that makes it illegal for trans and non-binary youth to get gender-affirming care, outlaws drag shows, and protects the trauma machines known as conversion camps? The youth of this nation are easily confused by the gender rhetoric going on. This bill will keep them from making permanent and dangerous alterations to their body. Puberty blockers are not dangerous or permanent. It can be easily reversed in the rare event of the patient wanting a reversal, which is less than 2% of the time and usually caused by external pressures, namely people like you, rather than a genuine change of gender identity. You're clearly a victim of misinformation. I have several medical articles open on my laptop right now, all verified from scholarly sources. Shall I email them to you? Oh, can you send them to me, darling? I do my best to stay educated, but computers are sometimes hard to navigate at my age. Moving on, and speaking as a victim of conversion therapy, I can guarantee you that not only does it not work, it causes far more trauma for the children you're claiming to protect, increasing our risks of drug abuse, depression, anxiety, self-harm, and suicide. Well, clearly you went to a bad one, but that doesn't mean that all of them... Yes, all of them. And banning drag shows is not only dumb, unnecessary, and totalitarian, it's also just a short jump away from banning existing as a trans or non-binary person altogether. Only in front of children. Is this about those sweet peas reading to children at the library? I take my grandbaby to rainbow reading every Saturday. There's nothing wrong with it. You expose your grandchild to such inappropriate, vile behavior? My grandbaby practices live shooter drills at his kindergarten class. He can handle knowing that adults play dress-up. Well, that may be fine for you, but we cannot allow our precious children to hurt themselves with drugs and surgeries, or make such decisions that they'll regret later when they're adults. Yeah, no, I'm going to stop you right there. I'm a therapist at a teen treatment center. A good percentage of my patients are trans and non-binary, and I can say that cheap, easy, and legal access to gender-affirming care that you're trying to outlaw would not only be incredibly beneficial to their mental and physical health, it can and does save lives. Oh, yeah, how's your boss? Still a pig. His sister owns a farm, so that's where he's staying. We've got someone in charge with an actual conscience, and it is so much better. One of the first things we did was create several lists of resources for kids of various minority groups, including LGBTQ+. And speaking as an ER nurse, I have never treated someone or heard of anyone needing treatment for any dangerous side effects of hormone blockers, estrogen, or testosterone, and only once have I heard of gender-affirming surgery going awry, and that was due to an infection that caused a minor fever that went away after only a week. Who I have treated are trans and non-binary teens and adults who have been beaten, stabbed, and shot by people spouting your rhetoric. Ma'am, I have seen this before, many times. You may be trying to protect children, but all you're doing is making it so hateful people can legally erase trans and non-binary people from the earth. Well, those people should be erased from the earth. Women are women, men are men. Anyone who thinks otherwise is not right in the head. This isn't hard to understand. Holy transphobic Batman. Bob, whatever curse you're thinking of doing, may I ask that you make it permanent rather than your usual 7-year maximum? I need her full name for that. I got her wallet. What? Am I going blind? When did that happen? When the therapist and nurse were talking. Don't worry, you'll get it back. The full name is Mary Ellen Johnson. Thief? Please tell me you're going to turn her trans. Being trans or non-binary is not a curse. However, for the last 180-some years I've been in this country, I have been collecting names, memories, and experiences from volunteers to give to those in need of them. Several pro-slavery people around the Civil War era changed their tune after getting the memories of real black people and other people of color dropped into their heads. A few men realized that women really should have the right to vote when they got some women's memories. And you, Miss Johnson. Every night you go to sleep, you're going to dream of the real-life experiences of non-binary and transgender people. The good, the bad, and the tragic. You will remember those dreams in vivid detail, and you will not stop dreaming of them when you not only truly believe that they deserve the same human rights you do, but also genuinely start fighting for them. Then and only then will this curse be lifted. So you're gonna fill my head with the delusions of the mentally ill? No, the neurodivergent and mental health notebook is this one. Although, thanks to lifetimes of trauma due to living in a society that wants to eradicate them, there is some overlap. Well, thank you for nothing, and you'll be hearing from my lawyer. I sincerely doubt that, since none of that was illegal. I'm trying to decide if signing up to have my own experiences of being unable to treat genderqueer youth would violate HIPAA. Probably. The names and faces of the donated memories get blurred out. She'll remember everything but that, thus protecting everyone's anonymity. Oh, then hand that book over. Do we have to sign in blood, or will ink do? Do not get blood on my notebook. Did you want to sign up for that, JC? Nah. Mad respect for the people who do, but I am just not comfortable with it. Thanks for backing me up, though. Sure, but the wallet swipe was cooler. Buddy, I know we said that we were going to meet up and talk about the bakery sales and figure out what you want me to make next week, but, go home. We'll discuss it tomorrow. Great, thanks. I'll drive. Hey, I've got a delivery for the ward of the Lavender Princess? Oh, that's me. You're the Lavender Princess? Should I have been using different pronouns? No, Boss is the Lavender Princess. It's one of her titles. I'm her ward. That makes her sound like a cool lesbian drag queen. That's only because of recent historical movements and slang. The Lavender Princess was one of her first names, like her first name 5,000 years ago. You know how she's a royal? Well, to keep the royal family names a secret from magicians and whatnot, she and her siblings were assigned colors. The Crimson Prince, the Indigo Princess, the eldest child and heir is the Golden Princess, etc., etc. The Lavender Princess is what the public calls her. She's got a bunch of other names too, obviously. The Purple Sorceress, the Earth Traveler. She was so effective and terrifying during one of those fairy wars that her enemies started calling her the Iron Witch. Cool history lesson. Sign here, please. Who's the package from? My parents. Haven't seen them since we left the Fae realm. Mom sends me a care package about once a decade. I'd offer some to you, but they're usually fairy food and humans really should not eat that. Smells like cinnamon. She is an amazing baker. Thanks, buddy. Why did you leave your parents to go work for Bob? It's kind of a long story. The short version is everyone committed treason, so we had to bail. Yeah, we're gonna need a lot more detail. If you're cool with sharing them. Fine by me. So the timeline here is a little wonky thanks to the different flows of time between human and Fae realm. Roughly one day over there is a century over here, so this might get a little complicated. But just under 200 years by my recollection, which was probably like 500 or 600 years by Earth time. Well, anyway, back when I was a kid, the whole kidnapping human infants and replacing them with changelings was at its height. Fairies kidnapped human infants to raise them in the Fae realm as servants and slaves, and they'd replace them here on Earth with wooden carvings of them enchanted with brief life that lasted no more than a week or two. That would make the parents think that their kids died of natural causes, so they wouldn't go looking for them in the Fae realm. Bob mentioned that. Well, not everyone on Fae was on board with it, least of all the boss. She was, against it largely for the obvious ethical implications. Kidnapping is kind of frowned upon across the board. Unless they're humans, then most fairies honestly don't care. We're kind of assholes that way, sorry. Honestly, same. But she still managed to raise a major political following against the practice by advocating a way more practical reason. See, mortals, you guys may not be great at magic, but you guys do have a shit ton of iron, which you were able to widely weaponize even back then. So antagonizing a bunch of human kingdoms with that type of tech seemed like a bad idea. On top of that, all the humans already in Fae, both those who were kidnapped and their descendants, kept rioting and revolting. The fairies were always able to put them down, but that takes a lot of time, energy, and resources, and that's just not sustainable long term. Boss's take was the way to stop the riots, revolts, and foreign invasion was by returning the humans we captured and not kidnapping anymore, and it gained traction. It seems like the issue could be resolved without the use of treason. You would think so. Except the king, Boss's grandfather, is a stubborn asshole. You know how Vlad the vampire thinks humans are cockroaches who need to be put in their place? Well, Granddaddy Fairy's got the same idea. and he decided that the best way to do that was by kidnapping the infant prince of a human kingdom and replacing it with a changeling, forcing the human royalty to serve the fairies. That's dumb. And wrong. Oh, yeah, it is. Now, the boss heard of this plot before it was carried out. She could not allow the baby to be brought to the Fae realm because of the aforementioned time difference, and she knew that the humans would retaliate big time if that happened. So she tried to argue all this to King Granddaddy. He didn't listen, so she decided to let the plan go ahead, since it would take at least 2 days for the team to get from the Fae realm border to the kingdom, and then another 2 days to get back. Her plan was that before the fairies crossed the border back into the Fae realm with the prince, she would swap the real infant with another changeling. The kidnappers would take the infant prince and replace it with the changeling. Bob would then intercept them before they could return to the Fae realm and replace him again with another changeling, thus having them bring nothing but an enchanted piece of wood back to the Fairy King. And then she would bring the real prince back to his human kingdom and negotiate a peace. Without permission from the king? Yeah, that would be treason. So how do you factor into this? The boss is great at many things, but woodworking, yeah. So she had to commission it from the greatest woodworker in her kingdom, who had refused to do any changeling commissions because he was part of that anti-changeling crowd. He actually got a lot of shit for it and was planning on moving himself and his family to another fairy kingdom that would not be so hostile to him. It's deeper in the Fae realm. They don't really have anything to do with humans. Boss went to him, told him her plan. He said he was in on one condition. A truckload of gold? No. Fleeing to another human kingdom and starting over from scratch because of political differences, that's bad enough. Doing it as a fugitive is even worse. Boss, she wasn't worried about being hit with the traitor label, alright? Fairies do not like killing their family members, they like killing royals even less, and she was powerful enough magically and politically that she was only going to look at exile at the worst. The woodworker knew that he did not have that type of protection, so he'd have to book it out of there. Fast. And even exiled, the boss would have way more resources and opportunities than he could ever provide for his son, who was only 100 years old at the time, just old enough to start an apprenticeship. The woodworker is your dad. Boss agreed to take me as her ward, basically an apprentice/adopted child, in exchange for the changeling. She also gave mom and dad a shit ton of money to help them set up their new life. And her gamble paid off. By the time King Granddaddy figured out he'd been duped, she'd returned the human prince to his home and negotiated a peace treaty. The only way that he could save face was by playing it off as a show of force, a warning of what they could do if the treaty was ever broken. So he signed, and Boss was banished to the mortal realm forever. She mentioned that she was all right with that? Oh yeah, she's totally cool with it. She credits humans with teaching her how to be a good person, and it's gotten her out of the toxic cesspool. That's the fairy court. We got dropped off in, you guys call it Ireland, I think? Yeah, a major potato famine prompted us and a bunch of other people to skip across the Atlantic to the States. Been here ever since. Yeah, but still, your parents missed 2/3 of your childhood. Over the course of a single weekend for them. Not really. See, here's the thing. Boss and a bunch of other sorcerers have found a way to mitigate that a bit. If you think of the two realms like two rivers, the Fae River moving way faster than the human river, the sorcerers have found a way to create bridges, I guess, that allows one to go from the human realm to the Fae realm, spend a few days, and then come back at more or less the same point in time. Really? Yeah, give or take a week or a month. I don't really get it, but I've been able to swap letters and packages with my parents in a quasi-timely manner. What I'm hearing is that you guys mostly solved the time travel bullshit with more time travel bullshit. Yeah, pretty much. And I'm not banished. I can hop back anytime I want, but I'm more than happy here. And being a fairy who was educated by a royal general and who has extensive experience with humanity is going to be really valuable in the job market if and when I decide to get a Fae job. But seeing as I'm the fairy equivalent of a 19-year-old, that ain't happening anytime soon. Does Bob get any packages or letters from her home? Not really from the fairies, but that Irish royal family whose prince she saved, yeah, she got in touch with their descendants. They're not monarchs anymore, not since like the 1930s, but Aw, Jack and Fia just had twins. And they're naming the girl Lavender. Every generation I think they'll stop, but they prove me wrong every time.